You might have had one of these tucked in the back of a drawer. Maybe you let it go cheap for cash. Maybe you traded it off for something new. Or maybe you gave it away thinking it was just another old gun. But here's the hard truth. Some firearms age like fine whiskey. They don't just hold value, they explode in value. And what used to be a simple tool can turn into a collector's piece that made ordinary owners into rich. This is the Gun-Man Ballistics. And we're counting down 10 firearms that turned everyday shooters into legends overnight. If one of these rings a bell, you might want to check the back of your safe, or kick yourself if you already let it go. Number 10. Colt Python. If you ever owned a Colt Python and sold it off, that might be one of the most painful gun mistakes in history. The Python hit the market in 1955, built as Colt's flagship wheel gun. We're talking a .357 Magnum revolver, hand-fitted by skilled craftsmen, polished to a mirror finish, and marketed as a premium revolver. Shooters gave it a better nickname, the Rolls-Royce of revolvers. The frame was forged steel. The barrel was fully lugged. It carried adjustable sights, and the double-action trigger was as smooth as silk. When Colt shut down production in 2005, values skyrocketed. A clean 6-inch Python today sells anywhere from $4,000 to $6,000. Rare snake gun variants push well into the 5-figure range. Some mint examples are now topping $10,000. So if you let yours go for a couple $100 back in the day, yeah, somebody else struck gold with your gun. Number 9. Winchester Model, 1886. If there's one lever gun that screams Old West wealth in the modern market, it's the Winchester 1886. This was no ordinary cowboy rifle. It was a heavy-hitting lever action built for serious game. Chamberings included powerhouse cartridges of the era like 4570 Government and 5110 Express. The design came straight from John Moses Browning. He engineered a locking block action strong enough to handle those punishing loads. Most rifles back then were worked hard and carried daily. That's why surviving clean examples today are worth serious money. A standard model with honest field wear can bring 5 figures. Special order rifles, custom engravings. Rare chamberings have crossed $75,000 at auction. If you've got one of these in original condition, you're not holding a rifle, you're holding a treasure chest. Number 8. Parker Brothers Shotguns. This one hits close to home for the shotgun crowd. If your granddad left you a Parker and you thought it was just some dusty old side-by-side, you might have sold off a small fortune without knowing it. From the late 1800s through the early 1900s, Parker Brothers sat at the top of the American shotgun world. These weren't just hunting tools. They were hand-built masterpieces, often carrying Damascus barrels, detailed engraving, and premium walnut stocks. Collectors chase the high-grade Parkers, especially rare gauges like 28 or 410. Those are unicorn guns. A top-grade Parker in excellent shape can bring $10,000 easy. But when you start talking factory-engraved, high-grade models, the numbers jump into 6 figures. The last time a 28-gauge Invincible grade hit the auction block, it brought in $250,000. If you've got a Parker sitting in the safe, you might be holding one of the crown jewels of American shotgun history. Number 7. Ruger. Number 1. It's not flashy. It's not tactical. It doesn't even carry a magazine. But if you ever owned a Ruger Number 1 and let it go, you might have walked away from one of the biggest sleepers in rifle collecting. Introduced back in 1967, the Ruger Number 1 is a single-shot falling block rifle. It combines Victorian-era elegance with Ruger's modern engineering. You got deep polished bluing. You got walnut that looked straight off a custom shop bench. And tolerances that were cut tighter than most production rifles of its time. Ruger chambered the Number 1 in just about everything under the sun. And that's where the magic lies. Some of those obscure chamberings turned into instant collector's items. Think .257 Roberts. Think .358 Winchester. Back in the 1980s, you could snag one of these rifles for $400 without blinking. Fast forward to today, if it's in a rare caliber and kept clean, you're looking at $2,000 or more. One rifle, one round at a time. And one serious payoff if you still have one in the safe. Number 6. Norinco SKS. If you came up in the 1990s, this rifle needs no introduction. The Norinco SKS was stacked 10 deep on gun shop racks, slathered in cosmoline, with a price tag that barely cracked $200. Plenty of guys bought them, spray-painted them camo, dropped them into plastic stocks, or worst of all, sold them off cheap to fund that very first AR build. Bad move. The SKS was the budget-friendly semi-auto workhorse. Chinese imports arrived by the container load until the mid-90s, when the U.S. cut off military rifles coming out of China. That import ban slammed the door shut. Now, a matching number Norinco SKS, pre-ban, complete with bayonet and its original wood pulls, $700 easy. Some clean examples have already broken the $1,000 ceiling. What used to be the rifle you couldn't give away has quietly climbed into collector territory. Number 5. Marlin Model 39. How many shooters made this mistake? They sold a rimfire, shrugged, and said, it's just a 22. If that rifle happened to be a Marlin 39A, you let go of one of the most finely built rimfires America ever turned out, and one that's now a hot collector's piece. This wasn't some throwaway plinker. The 39A was engineered like a centerfire lever gun, forged steel receiver, machined parts, solid walnut stock. It traces its roots all the way back to the model 1891, but Marlin brought the modernized 39A into production in 1939. When Remington took over Marlin, quality began slipping. Then, production stopped cold. That shutdown pushed the older rifles, especially pre-crossbolt safety, J-M stamped guns into the collector spotlight. A rifle you once sold off for pocket change now brings over $1,000 if it's in clean, vintage condition. That's not just a rimfire. That's history with a rising price tag. Number 4. FN FAL. When you think Cold War battle rifles, nothing carries more prestige than the FN FAL. It earned the nickname, the right arm of the free world, and for good reason. Over 90 countries fielded it. Chambered in .7.62 NATO, this rifle was the Western counterweight to the AK. During the 1970s and 80s, you could pick up a Belgian factory FN-FAL on the U.S. market for under $1,000. They were respected, but not rare. Then, 1989 hit. Import bans cut off the supply of true Belgian-made rifles overnight. And values took off like a rocket. Today, a mint Belgian FN-FAL with all original parts sells anywhere from $4,000 to $8,000. Rare configurations? You're looking at 5 figures, no hesitation. The rifle that once hung in gun shop racks as just another battle rifle is now one of the crown jewels of Cold War collecting. Number 3. Desert Eagle, Mark I. You've seen it on the big screen, the oversized hand cannon from every 1990s action flick. But here's the thing, while pop culture made it famous, the early Desert Eagle Mark I has quietly become a serious collector's prize. The Mark I wasn't just big for show. It was engineered with a gas-operated system and a rotating bolt, the kind of setup you'd normally find in a rifle, not a handgun. That design allowed it to run true Magnum loads reliably, something most semi-auto pistols can't touch. Early production models came chambered in .357 Magnum and .44 Magnum. They wore fixed sights and polygonal rifling, details that set them apart from later generations. Today, a clean Mark I will cost you anywhere from $2,000 to $3,500. And if you find a factory chrome or gold finish, or one with a low serial number, those prices climb even higher. What was once the over-the-top movie gun is now a legitimate heavyweight in the collector world. Number 2. Walther P38. Before the Beretta M9. Before the SIG P226. The Walther P38 was the pistol that rewrote the rules. Adopted by Germany in 1938 to replace the aging Luger P08, the P38 was the first truly modern double-action semi-auto sidearm. It introduced a double-action, single-action trigger with a decocker. It carried a lightweight open-top slide, and it used a tilting locking block, an innovation that influenced service pistols for decades to come. During the war, countless P38s came home in duffel bags as bringbacks. And today, those wartime pistols with original markings have become highly sought-after collectibles. A standard wartime P38 in decent condition now commands $900 to $1,400. Exceptional examples with intact markings and provenance climb even higher. This pistol didn't just serve a nation, it set the stage for nearly every military sidearm that followed. Number 1. Smith Wesson Registered Magnum. Before there was the Model 27, before the .357 Magnum became a household name, there was the Registered Magnum. Smith & Wesson rolled it out in 1935 as the answer to shooters demanding more power, more accuracy, and more prestige than any revolver before it. These weren't just production line guns. Each Registered Magnum was a custom order. Buyers chose barrel length, sights, grips, and finish. Every revolver shipped with a registration certificate, and each one was hand-fitted with old-world craftsmanship. Only about 5,500 were built before World War II shifted production. That makes it one of the most limited runs of any major American revolver. Values reflect that scarcity. A shooter-grade Registered Magnum starts around $5,000. With its original paperwork and matching numbers, the price climbs past $15,000. And flawless examples? They've broken $30,000. The value isn't just in rarity, it's in the unmatched quality that defined the revolver era. That closes out the countdown. From old-school Rugers to Cold War battle rifles to hand cannons and legendary wheel guns, every one of these has proven that the guns we take for granted today might be tomorrow's treasures. If you enjoy deep dives into firearms history and value, don't forget to like, subscribe, and drop a comment below.